But he has so many moments like that where he'll just straight up be like, "So did you this person?" Like, and Sam's like, "Oh, he's my friend. He was my friend. I would never kill him. Why are you saying?" Going great. Make sure you don't show your phone to. Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the building.
Whoops.
Everyone's favorite. The one half of the I've Had It ladies from the I've Had It podcast, Jennifer Welch in the building. We're having her on as a very special guest for the Fear Am podcast today. And I told her that it would be nice if she came earlier so we can have her on the stream. We're currently watching a Charlie Kirk and the Surge in Christian Nationalism. It's one of my favorite things is to watch like British people basically treat Americans like animals in the Serengeti.
Yeah.
Like they're doing like an anthropological study on how up America is in general from afar.
Yeah.
And yeah, this guy's just going around the country talking to people. And this person that has a Jesus is King t-shirt was just talking about how, the Bible taught him to hate Islam and gay people. And I was talking about how annoyed I am that people just like can't openly admit their hateful opinions and they have to like masquerade it. They have to hide it under like what the Bible taught. You just say it with your chest, you know?
Well, I live around these people.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and
I know.
So, I was raised by atheists in Oklahoma City. And so my whole entire childhood is fighting with these people. And these people tell me I'm going to hell, that my parents are going to hell. But it's fascinating when you have a European viewpoint on Bible Belt politics because it's crazy and it's Iron Age and it's regressive. And what's so terrifying for me, Hasan, is what I lived around. The federal government, I thought, would always kind of protect. And now it's mainstream. I love her. I think her collar's too tight.
It's here we can.
You have to be able to get two fingers, and I couldn't even get one. I think you're choking her.
She's like, it's because she has a lot of neck meat. That's what it is.
She loves me, but no, I let's watch him.
The other thing that I wanted to say, and you're absolutely correct, is that like empathy, like basic empathy. And not just like automatically demonstrating cruelty to like something that you don't understand. I feel like that was not a political concept. But now, because that's become like the guiding principle of republicanism in modern day, that it's almost made it into a version of like what people ascribe to like liberal values and liberal politics.
Well, yeah, now the right is making a concerted effort to brand empathy as a toxic trait.
Yeah.
Because they have
Charlie Kirk did it too.
Yeah. They have a big problem because we just had on the podcast, it'll come out next week, John Fugelsang. Do you know him? Mm-hmm. He's like a comedian. He wrote a book called Separation of Church and Hate. And he's religious. I'm not. But he talks about how Jesus, the central character of the Bible, was just this radical empath, to every extent. And the people that I live around that are evangelicals in Oklahoma City, they do not have empathy only until it affects them personally. They're completely void of empathy.
And that's not even, I guess that's not even empathy in that situation, right? It's just like self-preservation. The only thing that they care about is like, they're just selfish. It's a very selfish way to operate. She's going to try and get on your lap, even though she's a monster. So
she's a good girl.
You're going to get hair all over your jacket.
That's all right.
This is ideology that's antithetical to morality. I think that the left embraces evil. I would agree if someone wanted to say that this is going to be amplified because Charlie Kirk was best friends with Donald Trump. I do think that there's going to be extra fuel, so to speak, because it's so close to home, to them acting out these views of not unifying. because they think we're past that point.
So how does that play out long term? If there is no unity and you don't want to call for unity, you keep fighting the fight
Pause it
until
real quick.
one.
These people are primed to fight spiritual warfare from a very young age. Like they're primed and they think, I remember when I was in junior high school, these girls that I was on a cheerleading squad with literally thought that there were demons in the room with them and angels in the room with them, and they believed it. They were terrified all the time. So when you get to this and you've been primed to believe in this spiritual warfare, and then you get to this, they're so primed to think left versus right, a very black and white worldview.
Did you watch Left Behind? The
Yes.
Kirk Cameron movie?
Yes.
We watched it. It's awesome. I love that. I learned so much about like American conservatism from just that work alone that I never could have fully comprehended. I only dove into that because of all the rapture stuff, like on Rapture Talk, the people thinking that like they're gonna get raptured and become clothes. But the thing that I wanted to present to you is the maximalist position on that. Megyn Kelly doing an entire 7-minute sequence on witches. Have you seen this?
It's so good.
It's like first of all, there's so many different things that I want to say about that. Like, but it is shocking to me that someone would like sincerely be like, they hexed Charlie Kirk, like saying that that's real. That's like witches are real, hexes are real, and the curse actually worked. But the part that I thought was really interesting was like, she was basically admitting that like the power of Christian prayer failed. That like witches won. But that's
Totally.
what it is.
Right.
She's
right.
like, well, they tried. They brought in a Catholic priest, which I thought was interesting because Charlie Kirk is evangelical Protestant.
But have you seen the rumors? I've been spending some time on watching right-wing commentators melt down over the Charlie Kirk murder. And you have some of them that think it's Israel. You have some of them think that Erica Kirk is involved in it and it was CPAC.
Yeah.
There's all of this fracturing that goes on in it. But
yeah, I'm taking a let him fight position on it.
totally.
It's awesome.
Totally. No, the thing about like Megyn Kelly and then what's her name? Candace Owens, you'll listen to them for about 45 seconds. And then I was listening to Candace Owens try to make this case. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden she links in Bridget McCrone out of nowhere. I mean, out of nowhere, she's all of a sudden talking about Bridget McCrone. And then if you look at the comments, I think that what the country's having a hard time reconciling is this world, like streaming. Like I had to call my son after it happened. And I'm like, what is a groiper? What is a cat boy? He had to explain all of it to me.
All of those things.
Right. Because that's kind of the rabbit hole that I went down with it.
Yeah.
That this guy's MAGA, steeped in gun culture. And then the fact that if he had a trans boyfriend, to me, that makes it, or girlfriend, that makes it even more that he's MAGA. Like he had this secret
Groypers
life.
do have like that dual life, I guess. But I don't even think that there was enough evidence that he was a groyper. But what I do know is that clearly up until this moment, there's not enough evidence to the radical left, because I feel like they would have been parading that around 100%. By now. Like
Here's
what
the
happened?
thing. I don't trust anything coming out of that FBI. Anything. I don't trust, like when I saw the bullet the other day that said anti-ICE, I'm just, in my mind, I envisioned Kash Patel writing that on there and then taking a photograph of it and putting it out. I just don't trust anything because the narratives are immediately fitting what the administration wants.
Yeah. And also in a very dumb way. Like that's like Kash Patel wrote that like really quickly. Right. Like, and he couldn't come up with like something better as
Fuck
a message.
ICE.
Yeah, he couldn't even say ICE. He was like, gotta write something anti-ICE. Oh, okay, we got it.
I
nailed it.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to think that we can't trust the information coming out of this administration.
I can't trust anything Kash Patel says.
No.
Kash Patel could be telling me something that I want to hear, and I still will be like, I don't know if I agree with that. It's like Israel and Kash Patel have no credibility in my eyes.
I agree.
They just, if I hear even something I want to hear from either of these parties, I'd be like, I don't know if maybe I should reconsider. Maybe I should reconsider everything.
But all of this Christian stuff is so terrifying to me because I grew up around people that really believe in this very simple spiritual warfare world. They think that it is very real, heaven, earth, good, bad. And if you think about Donald Trump, he's an evangelical preacher. He looks like an evangelical preacher. He grifts like an evangelical preacher. He talks like an evangelical preacher.
The only thing
he
is that
fucks
he doesn't know
around
the
like an evangelical
scripture.
preacher.
He just doesn't have any command over that.
Right.
But it doesn't matter.
No.
Because as long as he is calculating the petty grievances of like the average American that's in his base of support, and he's just like really hitting those notes, clearly that's all that matters for a lot of these people. But I think this kind of stuff is not really working in their favor right now, because his approval rating has been low,
Right.
but it was basically stuck. And only after the Charlie Kirk did it actually go down. And it made me feel like the way he has behaved, because a lot of Americans, like, they abhor any sort of violence that's like, especially political violence, right? And instead of like maybe using this as an opportunity to lower the temperature, the fact that he just immediately went, it's the Antifa, it's the radical left, we got to do something about it. And also Jimmy Kimmel, we're going to fire him. That I think pissed people off, and even like lowered the approval rating from his base as well, to a certain degree.
And I think the way they rolled out the funeral was a huge misfire on their part, because you have the base that is in the cult that is all in on this Christian nationalism. And then you have the what I call country club Republicans that are rich white people that make up a big part of the Republican base that are probably like Episcopalian or Methodist that look down on Christians like this. And I know a lot of people in Oklahoma City that are like Methodist or Episcopalian, like, oh, those Bible thumpers are the worst. Everybody saw that. It's traumatizing to see that. So they could have rolled out the funeral in a different way, but they went full blown, tongue talking, hands waving, rattlesnake waving around, Christian nationalists. And I think that
with the pyrotechnics.
Totally. And I think that was a total misfire on their part, because that hits hard in the Bible Belt, but you start getting into blue states and they're kind of like, wait a minute. Oh shit. These people are crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much, like, because I think those guys ultimately, like the diehard Republican voters, regardless of their like sense of superiority over like the white evangelical Protestants, still ultimately are held together by the same cultural grievance and resentment, like, you know, the destruction of the left or whatever, like, you know, liberal elites and liberal society, and also they like the tax cuts and stuff too, more than anything else, and deregulation, but. I think like the reality of the matter is Charlie Kirk didn't have the motion that these guys presented him as having. And the more they just like badger you in the head with this, because it's very clear, like it wasn't like a period of mourning. Because what did they do? The first thing they did, we just watched a lady in Oregon go to a Starbucks and have like a panic attack meltdown because they gave her the Charlie Kirk drink. And it said Charlie Kirk on it. And they actually even said Charlie Kirk, like when they were announcing it, but it wasn't sufficient for her. So she like lost her mind. She was like, why wouldn't you say this? Free speech is dying. Like you're doing it. And it's like, when people see stuff like that, I think it has this backlash where people go, all right, dude, calm down. You know what I mean? Look, like,
I recently I play tennis every day, and I went to go play tennis the other day, and this guy was on the court next to me. I've known him forever. He's a total swinging dick, Trump supporter, Republican. And he goes, hey, Jennifer, look. And he picks up his coffee cup and it has Charlie on it. And this guy's name is Cliff. And everybody calls him Cliffy, because he's the biggest pervert. And I'm standing at this kind of bougie tennis club. And I looked at him and I go, you Cliff, Charlie Kirk is the biggest racist, misogynist piece of shit. I cannot believe you just showed me that. I cannot believe you're trotting around with that cup. And he goes, don't say that. Don't say that, Jennifer. I said, it's true. Do you know the shit that he says, Cliff? And Cliff's like, don't say that. And I'm like, Cliff, don't ever show me that shit again. And here's the thing. You
should have been like, here, read out loud this Kirk quote.
Right.
You should just have that. You should be like, here, just read it out loud. This is what he said. Do you think this is appropriate?
You know, here's the thing. I think a lot of them do.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, he is like a figurehead for a lot of that. In the same exact way that this guy is using the Bible. He doesn't want to say it personally, right? Because he knows that like in polite company that comes across as like kind of rude, maybe a little hateful. You don't know exactly what the room is going to respond to it. But but they can use like a deified figure to be like, well, he was saying it for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done with Trump too. Like, I remember when Trump first came about, I have some wealthy interior design clients, and these were like hardcore Republicans. They're like, oh God, no, we'd never vote for Trump in the primary. And then they would say after a couple glasses of wine, but he sure does say what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah.
And I remember when I heard them say that, I thought, oh, he's giving everybody permission to be upset about Obama, which brings me back to Megyn Kelly, where she just openly admitted that Obama broke them. Did you see that tweet where she...
I don't think I've seen that,
It's
but
a video.
I know that this
It's
like,
a video where she says...
I know that that's like a big cultural mover and shaker for a lot of people that they
But
were
she
like...
actually finally admitted it. She said, we haven't felt like ourselves since Obama won. And I thought, finally, you admitted it.
Yeah.
That he broke you that much.
Oh, no, for sure. They could not... I guess they just could not deal with the fact that like a black man was running the country. That's what it is at its most at its most base. Like,
Yeah.
that is unironically the cultural grievance. I do think that like there was always going to be people like that, but I think like if at least if there was more amenities that were offered in the process, like if the 2008 economic recovery looked different, if the healthcare initiatives were more expansive and it wasn't just like another shitty patch-up job to offer subsidies to private healthcare. If those things happen, I think that there would have been more of a conciliatory tone,
Right.
to the white supremacist attitudes that many Americans still have and just never let go of. But it's just, it was bad on both ends for that reason. It was like the unrestricted racism for sure, but then also the economic uncertainty and anxieties that people had in the aftermath of the 8 years of Obama that led a lot of people that were in the margins to then go, let's just break the system.
Right.
Again.
And
it
Obama,
literally-
he's spoken about that when he governed, he knew that he was a black man and that he would be judged through the lens if he went too big, if he went too bold. And I think the lesson that we learn from that as we move forward, that we are playing two different games. Look at how big and bold Trump is going right now. This dipshit moron. They don't give a fuck. And they're playing this game. And we're playing the game that, oh, we need to be tempered. And, we're going to appoint Merrick Garland because it makes us feel good because Obama, he got dicked over by Mitch McConnell. We're playing integrity politics and they're playing fuck you politics. And the Democrats still, like Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer, Booker, they're still playing integrity politics or just MAGA light politics. And so it's like, it's so depressing right now when we've had a bunch of these people on and, I get kind of confrontational with them, but it just seems like they don't give a shit. Like they're still going to play this centrist thing and they just are so divorced from where the base is. And I'll tell you, the base is moving further to the left because I have a bunch of friends in Oklahoma that were always apolitical because it was too much to talk about. Now they're forced to talk about it because if their daughters get raped, there's a total abortion ban in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so, I went after him. So now they're talking about politics a lot more, and they've gotten super progressive, really progressive.
Yeah. And it does, I think, like force people to open their eyes to the reality because like when there are significant legal setbacks being presented that actually impact their lives, they're like, okay, well, now I do have to take action. Because otherwise they're just like so busy with their day-to-day existence, trying to make ends meet, trying to make sure that their children have a better future,
Right.
whatever, right? That where a lot of Americans, I think, find themselves in the situation where they're like, neither party really represents my interests. I don't see anyone that is like a unique voice or presenting an alternative vision that I could agree with or offer me the things that I want.
Right.
And the Democrats certainly don't do that. So they just go, why do I care? I'm in Oklahoma. It's going to go right wing anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well not fucking vote at all.
Yeah.
And that's what the big issue is, and that's what I was trying to tell every Democrat over and over again. You saw me at the DNC.
I did.
Anyone I could speak to, I was like, you guys are not seeing what these fucking dudes are doing. They keep talking about migrants as like rapists, drug dealer, criminals. They keep talking about doing mass deportations. Please address how violent that is going to look like. People will inevitably get mad at that if that happens in their neighborhoods.
Right.
Because there's no stability when you got masked, armed agents of the state coming out of unmarked vans and like kidnapping the dude that is the grocery store clerk.
Yeah.
That act doesn't make America more safe. That act doesn't make Americans feel more safe. As a matter of fact, it makes Americans feel less safe.
And then for the heartless Americans that, like the country club Republicans that I'm talking about, when it's their housekeeper or somebody that works for them, then all of a sudden they give a shit because they are using that type of labor to exploit.
Yeah.
And it's consistent, good labor that they're like, oh, well, I can have these people do it for a lot less. And so I know this woman who I thought was for sure Republican. I know she was. And her housekeeper and the housekeeper's son got deported. And I've never really hung out with this woman much. Our kids went to school together. And I got a text from her 2 weeks ago that said, I started listening to your podcast. Some people I love were deported. Thank you for fighting for these people. So there's a change that's happening even in deep red states. And what pisses me off, Hasan, is these fucking Democrats are not messaging that. They're not capitalizing on that.
They're nowhere to be found.
It's milquetoast, limp dick politics. It drives me crazy.
They all listen to fucking James Carville, who went on television a couple months ago and said, we're just not going to do anything. Everyone's going to get mad at the Republicans. And then, of course, we're the only other alternative, so they're going to vote for us. And that's unironically what they're believe it. And there is no guarantee that is going to be a success this time around, especially because when you look at the polls, the Democrats are even less popular than Trump, because at least Trump has his base still. It's withering away, but he's like offering them cultural grievances that he fights for, right? Like, we're going to fire Jimmy Kimmel. There's enough dipshits in this country that go, hell yeah, Mr. President, that's great, right? It obviously invokes a lot of reaction to it as well. A lot of people get mad. They go, what the fuck? This is a First Amendment violation. We don't like this. But there is still a base that goes, we love the resentment politics that you're demonstrating. You're packing up our enemies.
Right.
Random Guatemalan people. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I voted for, is what they say on Twitter. Democrats don't have any base, and it's the exact same problem that caused them to lose the election in the first place, because they just push away their base of support, and they think that like people will just operate off of harm reduction politics. Mm-hmm. They'll just go, well, obviously Democrats are marginally better than the Republicans, might as well vote for them over the other guy. But that clearly doesn't get asses off seats to go out and vote, especially when voting already has pre-existing hurdles. It's you vote during a work day. You know what I mean? It's not compulsory. So it's just not happening.
No, I agree. And I think that what's happening is you have people like, I'm so mad at the Democratic Party right now, particularly Jeffries, Schumer, and Booker. I mean, others, but those three really get me the most. And then when Hakeem voted to honor Charlie Kirk, I just can't for the life of me understand how a black man honors a racist. I don't understand that. Furthermore, again, Hasan, we're playing two different games here. They would have never fucking voted for it ever if the roles were reversed.
Oh yeah.
And an influencer like
it
you,
was.
If an influencer like you, if God forbid something happened, and the Democrats, they would say, fuck no, we're not doing it. And the majority leader and the minority leader, whichever it was, would whip that party into shape, and it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And you have these people like this guy here, they cannot commit to anything. Jeff Duncan, I had him on, and they can't commit to anything. And I think that it leaves a vacuum where a uninformed voter, a low information voter, thinks when they hear Trump or they hear Ted Cruz or any of these other fucking horrible dipshits, they think that they have passion and they're authentic about something, and they see politicians like this. It's like, why can't you commit to something? Like at this stage in fascism, at this stage in America, why can't we commit to anything in an interview?
It's just, I'm telling you, I think it's because they're. I always go back and forth on this. I think like, is it sinister, where they think as long as I can like keep my position, my role, it's fine if America turns fascist, because like, you know, I'll still make sure that my children get to go to the best schools,
Right.
and then they'll go and work for a corporation that's like lobbying me, right? Or is it actually stupid? Is it cynical or is it stupid? And the stupid part is like they genuinely think that this is good politics.
I
They're
think
just, like,
it's the latter.
I do think, yeah, when I talk to politicians, I realize, oh no, it's actually stupid too. It's
Yeah.
not just like, there are definitely a lot of cynical people who are doing this because they don't give a shit. Like Richie Torres. Richie Torres does not give a fuck about Israel or anti-Semitism. Okay? He does not give a shit about anti-Semitism. He just is an attack dog for AIPAC because AIPAC fucking gave him money, and he grew up broke, and he thought, oh, I'm betting on the wrong horse. This is
Right.
going to be my cash cow. That's it. It's that simple. He is a cynical charlatan, right? But then there's like the stupids who do actually think that there is they do get manipulated by like the lobbyists and the people that have access to these congresspersons, and they're so inaccessible to the regular public that who unironically think like, no, everybody loves Israel. What the fuck are you guys talking about? This doesn't make any sense. And they're shocked. They're shocked when they actually go and do a town hall, and like all of these 75-year-olds are like, why the hell are you giving so much money to Israel? Fuck you. And that's like a wake up call for all of them. At least like that's what Rashida Tlaib basically told me. And I mean, she knows these people, right? Like
Right.
she knows how like echo chambered they are and how sheltered they are from like the average person's opinion, that they do legitimately get duped, and they do actually think that this is somehow good politics. So there is that, yeah, the beltway brain damage, basically. So it's a bit of both, but I think when they're stupid, you can at least like convince them. If they're cynical, you can't really do anything about
I
it.
also think there's this, as we've dove more and more into politics on the pod, I think that there is this consulting class in the Democratic Party, and they're so far out of America in the Beltway, and they are going after the elusive average American. And they've been so divorced from that idea for so long. And I remember when we had Rahm Emanuel on, and I kind of got in a fight with him.
Yeah.
Because he said, we need to quit talking about the bathroom and start talking about the kitchen table. And I was just like, fuck you, that you're throwing trans people under the bus.
Also, who's even like, the bathroom was a victory for the wokes. Donald Trump, after the bathroom bill was presented, I think in North Carolina, there was so much backlash that Republicans had to be like, oh, fuck, we can't do this because this is cruelty for the sake of cruelty. America's a lot more woke than we thought it was, even on the trans issue. So they had to go back to the drawing board to figure out a different way to attack trans people.
Well, and the Democrats don't
Trump was
message it
pro-trans in
properly.
2016.
Well, he's best friends with Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, she's trotting around
Caitlyn Jenner's also
Mar-a-Lago all the time.
transphobic,
But the trans issue, if they would just be better about saying, why do you care who goes where in the restroom? Why is everybody in MAGA constantly talking about trans people, gay people?
Yeah.
Why are y'all constantly talking about that? And they never flip it back. Democrats absorb the attack, and then they play defense the whole time instead of punching back and saying, why is Grindr having outages after Charlie Kirk's funeral? Why is Grindr having outages after the RNC? Why is Benny Johnson getting fed gay cruise places? And here's the deal. We want Benny to go on that gay cruise. We want that to happen for him.
Well, his wife doesn't. His wife, I know for a fact, his wife does not allow Benny to go on work trips by himself any longer.
I mean, here's the thing.
He was hanging out with other men too much, it seems.
Yeah. I think I have a whole hypothesis that MAGA has a DL demon queen problem. And they think, okay, if we can make the country Christian nationalist, if we can put prayer in schools, if we can do all of these things, then maybe I won't want to go eat ass. And then it just it's never going to fix it because they have so much shame and they live in such Puritan culture that they are trying to legislate and be the moral police out of their own sexual problems.
Yeah. Oh, here, speaking of Benny Johnson, here it is. An ex-coworker of Benny Johnson revealed that he had gay hookups with him. He also has searched gay cruises so much that it appeared on his Google ads. He's a closet homosexual or bisexual/pansexual who pushes a far-right agenda that targets the rights of LGBTQ people. Here's Saeed Jones says, I made out with Benny Johnson in an empty dressing room at BuzzFeed holiday party in 2013. It haunts me to this day. Anyway, it's funny he's done literally everything but come out of the closet. Men will literally become traitors of the country rather than go to therapy. Betty, who performed at the holiday party BuzzFeed hosted at Webster Hall in 2013, Betty, who performed at the holiday party, everyone got sloshed because of the open bar. Benny and I went into the dressing room and started kissing. Would have gone further, but he said something cringe enough to snap me back to my senses. I rolled my eyes and left. Anyway, I'm definitely not the only guy Benny Johnson has made out with. I've heard him and his wife are swingers. She's pregnant with her fourth child now, which, LOL. Anyway, when I warn y'all about sleeper agents, I'm speaking from experience. Demons walk among us. I'm not naming names, but I was just informed I wasn't even the only guy Benny made out with that night.
Exactly. We have a DL demon queen group of men that are so emotionally stunted and broken. And that person says it right. They won't go to therapy. And we're all getting abused and traumatized by this complete psychosis. And I think that here's the deal. You were on our podcast and we talked about it. You think JD Vance is gay for pay. I just don't think he's like. I do.
I just don't.
I think he went off to Peter Thiel's gay camp and he came back queer-eyed. You know it. He was chubby. He wasn't dressed well. He goes off to Silicon Valley and he looks like queer-eye got a hold of him.
I think
and he
he's
starts
just too
wearing
much of
eyeliner.
I think he's just a brown noser. Like I don't know.
I get a gaydar ping from him.
I don't get gay vibes from him. I get more like he will definitely suck it for enough money or power, but he's just not like everything about him
Mike Johnson,
is so fake.
I think for sure is gay. We all know Lindsey Graham's gay.
Yeah, obviously. Lindsey Graham's definitely gay.
Yeah.
Rick Perry, also another closeted
there's rumors
homosexual
too
man.
about Marco Rubio.
Oh, I've seen that.
Which makes
he was at a foam party.
Yes.
Marco Rubio. Pull up Marco Rubio foam party.
Gay stuff.
He was at a foam party in Florida. I saw a video the other day. If you want to know how much these motherfuckers are demons, 10 years ago on the dot, the Pope came, the woke Pope, Pope Francis, came and delivered a speech in front of Congress. And he talked about the importance of treating immigrants with dignity. Okay? Marco Rubio was in attendance. The camera panned to him. He was crying. He had tears in his fucking eyes. Now he's the Secretary of State. He leads the State Department, and he is he leads the State Department, and he's deporting people for like hurting Israel's feelings. Yeah, columnist claims this might be a photo of Marco Rubio at a gay Miami foam party in the 90s. Now, the thing is, it could be him. I mean, it does look like him. Oh my God, it's definitely him. But this could just be because he's from Florida. Because like he's just a Miami Cuban. You know what I mean? They do get up to some
Here's
gay
the
shit.
thing. I think that there's a whole thing with these MAGA men, and they're either, they're sexual abusers. There's some sort of sexual dysfunction that unites them in this cause. And then you have the women that they put up front to gender wash so that they can keep women voters voting along with it. Like the new attorney that is charged Comey. Have you seen her? Lindsay, the new the prosecutor.
In Virginia.
U.S. attorney.
In Virginia. Yeah, what the fuck?
But that's gender. We had this NYU professor on the pod, and she said that authoritarians will put women in positions like that to gender wash to make it look like, oh, we're not anti-women. Look, we have this woman like Pam Bondi. Yeah. We have her in this power, and it's a ploy that they use. But I'm telling you, I think my hypothesis about the DL demon queens at the heart of MAGA, it's going to turn out being true. And I'm going to take a victory lap.
I can see that. It also, if they were more woke, ironically enough, and had no issues with being gay, then they would not be susceptible to blackmail on this issue.
Exactly.
And I think like doing like cruising around like that does actually also open you up to blackmail and can make you much easier, a much easier target, like much easier to manipulate. So, well,
And I personally think Trump is probably kind of bi.
I say that. I say
I
he's,
do.
I say Trump is asexual, but biromantic. Like
I agree. He's
is
very attracted to men.
He always talks about how handsome men are. He's so zesty. It's like his only redeemable quality. But I don't think he has sex for like sexual gratification. I think he has sex for like in the same way that like a rapist does, or which he has done.
I do too. Yeah.
Where he's like he's doing it for power.
Right.
And for him, like it's very obvious that like the women that he is had sex with are also like a way to show other people like I've conquered this thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not about a real desire to be with another human being, but instead more so just like a way to show other people like your status, like a watch, like look at my watch, look at my expensive watch that I have.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Well, and I think, didn't his first wife accused him of rape?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Stormy Daniels, she said, look, it was completely consensual, but like she went to the restroom and she came out and he just pretty much attacked her. And she said, look, I was in there to, hook up with him.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I think that all of these men refuse to go to therapy. Marco Rubio, to me, this makes perfect sense because I couldn't understand. Of course, Marco Rubio was a war hawk. Of course, he was a right winger.
Yeah.
But he was hardcore about national security. He was hardcore about Russia. And then we all saw like the soul drain from his face. And I just have this idea. This is what goes on in my head, that together they can all be like Trump personifies like, you can be in power and you can be a hypocrite. It's okay. Look at all the power and look at all the praise.
There's a freedom. There's a freedom that comes along with that.
And they identify with that. Like in the case, like I always envision JD Vance, like coming home and like really putting a smoky eye on and lipstick on and having like, do you remember the Silence of the Lambs where the guy remember when he like sucks, when he tucks his penis?
Yeah. I forget Buffalo Bill.
I picture JD Vance. I call him Lil Smokey, short for Smokey Eye Sociopath. I just picture these guys being so fucked up behind closed doors.
I just don't think that he's, I don't know. I don't think he's like, he doesn't, I don't read it as that. I just think he's like a sociopath.
Gay in his own book.
I think he's just a sociopath. Like
he is a sociopath.
I mean, he was woke. He was woke. He could have experimented for sure. But I do think he's more like, he's just like an amoral vessel that will suit whatever purpose he has calculated will gain him favors and will allow him to claw power.
What do you think about somebody like Marco Rubio, like the total moral collapse, the total capitulation to Trump?
I think at its root, it's about a journey to get as much power as possible. Like he wanted to be in that position no matter what it took. And he realizes that it's not the best circumstances for him. Like, I'm sure he would have loved being George W. Bush's, Secretary of State. War on Terror. There's at least like even though obviously George W. Bush was also a monster, but at least they were following the process. Right.
It had
like
the appearance of decorum.
Yeah. You could be in polite company and be like, this is George W. Bush's Secretary of State.
Right.
And like liberals wouldn't look at you that way. But now everything is just like slowly but surely falling apart. But in the same way that Donald Trump and all of his cronies are like picking apart the scraps of American empire right now for whatever remains to make a tidy little profit on the side, Marco Rubio's ambitions for power, he realizes would only happen in this standard, in this way, where no one really will take him seriously. Steve Witkoff has more motion in terms of like negotiations than he does, and only because he's a golf buddy of Donald Trump.
Right.
And so he's just this guy.
What about Stephen Miller? I think he's running the whole show.
Psycho.
I think so too.
He is the deep, dark mind behind a lot of the white nativist sentiment. He was in 2016 as well. And he's an agent of Satan. Like he is literally Satan incarnate. He openly talked about like his he's Jewish,
Right.
and he openly talked about like white supremacist works that he read. They're like deeply anti-Semitic, all the way back in 2016 as like a important things that he read that like shaped his worldview. It's so psychotic. His wife said he's a matador. His wife thinks Elon is a matador.
She said on Jesse Waters that her husband was a sexual matador.
Yeah, he's ugh.
No, I read a whole article about him that came out recently, and I think that my opinion is that, like, look at the stuff that Trump's interested in. Like, he's redecorating. He's got the ballroom.
Yeah.
He has these vanity projects that he's engaged in. He doesn't give a fuck about policy. He's a famous non-reader. The only book that we've ever known or that's ever been reported that he's read is Mein Kampf, that his first wife said that was on his nightstand. That's the only book I've ever heard of the man reading. And I think that he has all these vanity projects. Meanwhile, Stephen Miller drums up all these executive orders. I think he is running the DOJ. I think he's the one that's telling Kash Patel, make it fit this narrative. Make the evidence fit this narrative. I think it's all Stephen Miller because Trump's too lazy.
Yeah, I for sure. He's lazy. The only thing he cares about is being loved. And I think that this time around, his close associates from the last administration have realized that they can like kind of isolate him and manipulate him in that way by just only showing him like positivity.
Right.
And I think he's like somewhat oblivious because he does obviously watch television on his own. He's not as tuned into Twitter as he used to be. So I think like there's more of an opportunity. He's almost become like Brandon in some ways, like Biden 2.0, basically, like older, lost the step. The only thing he cares about is like people saying they love him. And that's the only thing he responds to when he sometimes gets a boss call from like sector leaders, like industry leaders. He will try and pull back.
Right.
Like when he said that, you know, ICE is no longer going to go to like the hospitality industry. And then Stephen Miller was like, no, we're still going to go after the hospitality industry. And they're doing it.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, I think he's fucking oblivious to the half the shit that's going on. This is not to absolve him of any of the sin, of course. He's a monster, but I do really think that they're just like feeding him whatever information that shuts him up. And yes, you're right. Stephen Miller absolutely is running the show. And then sometimes Laura Loomer. Did you see? She wanted me deported.
Oh my God, I saw that. Somebody sent that to me.
Yeah, she
Did she respond to you when you said you were born in New Jersey?
She did. It was the
What'd she
weakest.
say?
It was the weakest response of all time. Where is it? Hold on. It was. There's still people. Look, the first thing that came up. We're still insane cope. We're still deporting him back to Turkey, which is so funny because that is insane cope. But as a right-wing account, that's like, nope, we're going to do it. We're going to deport you back to Turkey. Okay, good luck, guys. Where is it? She basically said, you don't act like it. That's all she said. Diabolical ratio, by the way. She came in hot. Hopefully today, President Trump can negotiate the permanent deportation of Hasan Piker back to Turkey. It's time for him to go home.
What got you on her radar?
Oh, she's been following me for years.
Okay.
And I think she likes me a little too much. That's what I suspect. I have noticed this in like a lot of prominent conservative women that will like openly say it too sometimes. Like Brett Cooper, Fem Shapiro, the girl that looks like Ben Shapiro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw this. Is this a real tweet? I saved it on my Instagram that Ben Shapiro has deleted it since then, but
he never deletes tweets, so
okay.
It might not be. I think he has a policy of keeping it up all the time.
It was something about, then somebody must have made it up. I probably fell for it.
What is it?
It's not loading.
Oh.
I mean, I don't have, but it was something about.
What was it?
It was a tweet that allegedly said Ben Shapiro had tweeted and since deleted that he said, you can't cave to homosexuality or transphobia. Well, let's say you had a really hot sibling. It was something about like, you have to resist those urges or something. It was insane. I saw it, and then somebody had put it on Instagram and said
it could be fake,
Okay.
but what you're actually saying is unironically what Rick Perry said. That's why I say he's in the closet, because Rick Perry said it's like alcoholism. You know, you just have to avoid it. And if you're not gay, you don't think about homosexuality like that. Because like never in my life have I been like, man, I really got to put the penis down. You know what I mean? Oh man, there's just dicks all around. There's just dicks all around me, just waiting
That's
to be
why
sucked.
I'm saying I think MAGA has a DL Demon Queen problem, because they talk about gay stuff all the time.
Wait, it's from 2020. So Ben Shapiro attacks LGBTQ people because he wants to sleep with his sister.
Okay, read
No,
that.
but this is from Queerty, so it's probably not real. But the thing with homosexuality and transgenderism is this simply boils down to exerting control over your impulses. Like, say you have a hot sister. Yeah, oh no, this is fake. Because this was at the time when everybody was talking about Abigail, his sister, who is
okay.
who's an opera singer.
So are they finding this stuff as we talk about it and then sending it to you?
Love is love is love is love. NYC Pride. So consensual incest is okay then, right? I mean, he's made inferences to fucking his sister, but that tweet is probably not real. Brett Cooper calling you hot, LaMaFeo. Yeah, okay, we don't have to do that right now. But so yeah, he has made a similar statement, but just not as direct as this. Maybe you steal her underwear a couple of times, but it goes no further than that. Yeah, it's definitely fake. Yeah. Did you seriously forget about Ben tweeting about your cock? Wait, what? Did he tweet about my penis? No, he just talked about how I was gallivanting shirtless or something.
It isn't Ben Shapiro the one that couldn't understand, that tried to diagnose Cardi B with a medical condition
It's not real.
for her WAP song? Isn't that on video?
Yeah. He's like, wet ass P word.
Because
my wife is a doctor. Informed me. She informed me that would be a medical condition. Yeah, man, that was the peak. That was the peak of Ben Shabibo.
Is he still popular?
No, he's washed. He's so washed. I think he's like desperately trying to pick up the mantle from Charlie Kirk. And the same with Steven Crowder too. Steven Crowder, now he is openly admitted that he had a bisexual phase.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he said he had the bisexual demon. We're
really proud of him for feeling so
where is it? Oh, here's the video.
comfortable
Hold on.
sharing that.
I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
What? I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual.
Yeah.
We're really proud of him for feeling so comfortable sharing that.
What the hell's going on with this link? Why is it not like properly loading?
We're really proud of him for feeling
Oh, there it is.
so comfortable sharing that.
I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
What? I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. Could you please elaborate for new fans among us? Some of us may be going through our own short phase and would be interested to know how you eventually won the battle and found a good woman to please. Oh my God, there's like dudes in the chat being like, they're gay and they're scared of being gay. Stunned H3H2 correspondent Hasan was shocked by Steven Crowder's bisexual thirsting. These are from a year ago, chat. This is a video from 4 years ago, and these are comments from a year ago.
No, I'm afraid of getting angry, afraid of being too emotional, afraid of being obsessive. Because then I'm afraid of alienating friends, family, people who I care about most. Something I think about a lot.
It's so funny that his like fall from grace came because he got a $50 million contract from the Daily Wire, to which he responded with, "This is a slave contract." And then everyone was like, "Dog, that's $50 million. The fuck are you talking about?" And then it came out that he was in the midst of like this really shitty divorce, and the wife basically leaked like Ring camera footage of him like abusing her, pretty much.
Oh, yes, I think I saw that.
The famous, "It doesn't work for me either." That's what he said to his wife, because he was like, his wife was like, "I'm pregnant with your child. I can't handle the dog medicine." And he was mad.
This reminds me back to Megyn Kelly. So I'm friends with Don Lemon and his husband, Tim. And Don Lemon has said this on his Instagram. But Megyn Kelly, whenever they've been out, and it's Don and his husband, Tim, Megyn Kelly's husband is always staring, and gay men kind of know, like, you know, you would if you're checking out a chick and y'all keep making eye contact back and forth. Megyn Kelly's husband is always staring at Tim, the husband of Don Lemon. Don straight up called, because she got in a fight with Don on the internet, and Don straight up called out Megyn Kelly's husband. I'm telling you, I think the core of a lot of this shit that we're all suffering right now is a lot of unresolved, closeted issues.
I mean, certainly that plays a role in it for sure. But what was I going to say? As far as like, I mean, there's a lot of guys like that. There's what is it, Ben Dominic or whatever? That's like another famous one. There's who's the RNC guy? I'm forgetting.
Oh, Ken. I know. I remember.
No, it's not Ken. It's I mean, he's like straight up like Matt Schlapp. Yeah, he's like straight up a rapist.
Yeah, he's a predator.
Yeah, he just like will literally sexually harass and assault like the Republican staffers.
Well, and then just as early as we just did an episode on this, as early as February 2025, Matt Schlapp's in a bar grabbing people's balls and sexually assaulting people. And then a few months later, Piers Morgan, he was just on like last week, and they just keep platforming these, you know, this certain type of man. And when we interviewed that professor on authoritarianism, she said that's a whole part of the authoritarian play. You have a certain kind of man, and moral collapse happens all around him, and they advertise, like, look at how we get away with this. It's a part of the toxic masculinity of authoritarianism.
But there's also, like, you were talking about the freedom element, but like I think there's a lot of just bad guys who feel a sense of comfort and a sense of loyalty that comes from this administration when they have guys like Pete Hegseth in prominent positions of power, in spite of all of the obvious like setbacks. And I'm not even talking about like his incompetence. I'm talking simply about like his rape charge. You know what I mean? He's like a drunk, abusive, rapist asshole. And I think other people that have done things like that look at that and go, oh, I feel protected with this. Like, right. It's like, this is an administration that will have my back if I defend it. That's what I think is going on here too. And
I think it alleviates some of their own feelings of shame or disappointment that they had. It gives them a permission structure to let it go.
Yeah.
And then more moral collapse falls with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look at Russell Brand. Like, it's also very easy to just pull that pivot. Like, as soon as you're outed for doing something horrible, instead of recognizing that you wronged people and maybe even like trying to create an environment of accountability, you just double down and you pivot right. You suddenly become a right winger almost overnight. Russell Brand did that as well. And that's it. And the right is so welcoming.
Oh, totally.
The right is like, oh, thank God.
They are.
Welcome.
Did you see this where I interviewed Jeff Duncan?
Yeah, I want to see this. This has been going viral on Twitter.
AIPAC money, or have you taken AIPAC money?
I'm not certain if I've taken it or not. I've been in office 10 years. It doesn't jump out at me as I'm taking it. But I think the most important part is...
will you for this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Okay, come on, Jeff. This is like, there's a genocide.
There's no shot he hasn't thought about it.
That's what I thought. So
There's
I kept
no
on him.
shot.
I wouldn't let it go. So I just stayed after him.
What do you mean you have no idea? And it's not even just AIPAC. There's so many other like umbrella organizations. Like, are you going to get money from any Israel advocacy group? Like, AIPAC is a good catch-all term, is a good umbrella term for it. And if he can't even fucking say no to AIPAC, then goddamn.
Going on right now. And even human rights, Israeli human rights groups see this, that the United States of America is funding.
To see these kids starving.
And to not know if you're going to be beholden to the Israeli lobby is to me is not something that should take time to think about, because you started off this interview with us talking about your faith.
It is.
Will you take AIPAC money in this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Wow. Okay, I want to take that moral clarity that you have right there and then ask you again, are you going to take money from AIPAC? Because just there, you talked about, and AIPAC is what helped. They gave Trump over, I think, $200-300 million. Are you going to take money from a group that lobbies to deny that that's happening to those children?
I'm not going to give you the shallow answer of saying yes or no, because
if you can have moral clarity to talk about,
What do you mean?
I wouldn't
That's
let
not
him
even
off
a
the
shallow
hook.
answer. No, it's the least shallow answer. Like, why is this a complex situation?
So my thing with him was like, I think that it's going to take a certain type. It's a broad coalition. You talk about Pumps and me having like the white wine mom vote, and we all have to tackle different parts of the electorate. One of the most important part of the electorates, I think, in the midterms is like a James Tallarico type candidate that is a choir boy, Christian, liberal. And he said he's not going to take PAC money, and he can go speak the gospel, which is a total turnoff to me. It's a total turnoff.
I get some sus vibes from him, by the way. I haven't like fully looked into his background, but I did hear someone talking about how like Miriam Adelson had given him money initially. Miriam Adelson is.
I know exactly who she is.
Yeah.
Now she owns the
Mavericks.
Yeah, Mavericks.
So,
but I agree
did get
with
money
you.
From Adelson,
but it's gonna take some choir boys to speak this kind of religious language, which is very off-putting to me. But to a lot of these people have been left behind and are going to be even poorer because of these Trump policies. The rural schools are going to be closing. The rural hospitals are going to be closing, and they're going to need a credible messenger that can come in and say, he lied to you and Jesus wouldn't want that. I'm not that messenger. You're never going to be that messenger, but there's going to be some white Christian men that have to remind these people where the only social life they have in their rural towns is that church. That's all they have to remind them about what the point was. And so that's why I think some of those politicians like that are going to be important in the coalition. It's off-putting to me. I'm sure that, in the past, Tallarico's taken money. But I think with guys like this, we can't give up on them immediately. We get them in the hot seat.
Yeah.
We pound them. We try to get them further to the left. We show them who the base is, and we try to mold them into what they need to be. And so that's what I try to do with Jeff Duncan here. Now, it's a primary, and I thought this will be a good test for him. I'm going to go after him hard on this issue. And I told him after the fact, because I think he was shocked, kind of the same way Rahm Emanuel was shocked when he came on the pod.
Because they don't
research.
Okay, one of the best parts, one of you have like this secret weapon, like, but I have actually also gotten like calls from some Democrats that I'm like always shocked. I'm like, do you know I'm gonna grill your ass? Like, you have no idea. But then they do pull out eventually because there's at least one young staffer, I think, that goes, no, don't do that. But they come to you and they're like, oh yeah, this is like a Democrat Party ordained outlet, and they're so not used to just like any pushback whatsoever that they look like a deer in the headlights. They look like Ted Cruz on Tucker Carlson, where they're like, what? You're not supposed to be asking me these questions.
So good.
You're not supposed to be asking me this at all. What the hell's going on? Yeah, or Richie Torres with Adam.
Oh my God. Something we haven't talked about, that I haven't talked about with Pumps on my podcast, that I want to talk about with you, because this happened and then the Charlie Kirk murder happened, and I haven't had time to circle back. When Tucker Carlson had on Sam Altman and accused him of murder.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that? Have you guys seen that?
I don't know how he gets those looks. I don't understand that. Like, why? What kind of power does this man have? Like, I don't believe in witchcraft, but I genuinely don't understand why so many people just will go up and talk to Tucker Carlson. Like, they just, maybe it's because like he was like a party man for so long that they just assume that he's gonna play ball, play nice. But he has so many moments like that where he'll just straight up be like, so did you kill this person? Like, and Sam's like, oh, he's my friend. He was my friend. I would never kill him. Why are you saying that? Like, it's crazy.
So
Look, right here.
You had complaints from one programmer who said you guys were basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This is like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this is someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time.
These guys can't look human to save their life, by the way.
Why are these gay men? Why is he and why is Tim Cook and evil
and Peter
demons-
Thiel.
Why are they going for refuge in this party? Because at some point the
they care
knives
about
will
money.
be.
They don't care about anything else.
But
They don't-
look at what happened in Putin's authoritarian regime. The oligarchs immediately go and suck up, and now they all start falling out of windows. You know they'll off the gay ones first if we get that far advanced in this
I think they
authoritarianism.
just don't. They think. I think in their minds the calculation is these guys are stupid, right?
Yeah,
they're stupid and they're malleable and they can be manipulated, and it doesn't take much to be more. It doesn't take much to be smarter than Donald Trump,
Right.
So I think like they don't, and they're white and they're rich, so like they're not impacted on that front too. Like white rich gay men are the last to go on there. They're gonna go, but
Right.
they're like the last on that ladder. So I think that's part of the reason why they think like, oh, we'll be able to seize everything.
Yeah.
We'll be able to turn this into like a neo-feudalist techno dystopia before it even gets to us. I genuinely believe that they don't even consider that. Like they don't care about trans people and stuff. Like they don't give a shit. Like Mark Zuckerberg, like he was Mr. Woke, right? He was Mr. Woke when like for a very long time. That's why he was like public enemy number one. They only care about profits. That's all they care about. So they think it won't come for us. We'll be able to completely control everything before it even gets to that level.
And then in this interview here, I agree with you that they don't even seem human. It's almost like when I watched it, it's like a bad acting scene. It's so surreal how Tucker goes in and basically accuses him of murder and starts talking about all of this evidence. So then, of course, I get on ChatGPT on his website and I start like, hey, what's going on with this death? Because I didn't know anything about it, of course. And so I don't know why these guys go on those shows like that, but they've all been somewhat red-pilled.
What did ChatGPT say? No, that never happened. Sam Altman was best friends with the person that was slain, who was a bad guy, and he killed himself.
So it said that okay, here's the issue with it. So the guy gets takeout food, the guy that allegedly killed himself. He gets takeout food. He comes into his house and makes a phone call even. And then later, I think it's a gunshot wound, but the parents are saying that maybe there was signs of an altercation, but basically ChatGPT said it was a suicide, and I tried to like, do you think it's a suicide? Blah, blah, blah. And you know how sycophantic ChatGPT is, but
I never use ChatGPT.
Oh, I use it all the time.
I don't use it. Oh, don't do it.
I know. My kids tell me not to use it all the time.
No,
They tell me
don't
it's terrible.
use
I
it.
know. My kids tell me not to use it.
It's not good because it's like it's literally going to break your brain. It breaks everybody's brain.
My son Dylan, who I'm so grateful that, because as a parent raising kids right now, you have to find out who else is raising your kids on the internet. And so you were one of, when he was in high school, he's in law school now.
Yeah.
But when he came home, he went to Syracuse and just graduated. And he came home, I'm like, oh, Dylan, I'm on ChatGPT. And he'd be like, Mom, get the fuck off ChatGPT.
Thank
It's
God.
awful.
That's a Hasanabi head right there.
Yeah.
He's trying to save you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think like there's a lot of, it's not even like the AI psychosis and stuff that I'm worried about. I think it's like more so cognitive offloading that I'm very worried about, especially for a younger generation where people delegate a responsibility that your brain normally
Needs
would
to
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't use it, you do lose it. And I feel like Americans broadly don't have a whole lot of brain to lose to begin with.
I agree.
So I'm so fucking worried about that. I don't know. I mean, it's just.
Well, here's the thing too. It gets so much stuff wrong. I don't use it as much as I used to, because at first it was kind of like a fun new app to play with on the phone, but it gets a lot of its information from Reddit threads.
Oh yeah, it's like super Reddit minded. Yeah.
And so I would get information and I would know it was false information, and then I've kind of fallen off from it. But no, this shit right here, Hasan, this interview, it was wild. And it happened, and then the Kirk murder happened, and I was never able to circle back. But I think it would have been a much bigger story that this guy, you know, he's a big, you know, always at the White House, at the circle jerk dinners that Trump has, where they have to go around telling him how great he is. And he's sitting down with Tucker. And it's amazing because I think that a lot of these guys don't realize how conspiracy oriented the right is.
Oh, yeah.
And they think, oh, it's Tucker Carlson. Like you said, he was on Fox and he's a right wing commentator.
Yeah.
But they don't have any idea how demented and twisted, like Megyn Kelly thinking spells are real.
Yeah.
Candace Owens thinking Bridget Macron is, you know, a man, and all of these things. And he probably doesn't realize that Tucker's paid by Putin and all sorts of. Didn't Tucker say he was attacked by a demon in his sleep?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson also did unironically say he woke up with like bruises on himself and he was like attacked by a demon.
Yeah.
Like he just straight up said that. Which again, with Tucker Carlson, I think he is a much more cunning actor than a lot of these other guys are. So I can never tell if he's like being sincere or if he feels like this is the role he must present at this particular moment. Same with like a lot of the stuff he's doing with Israel. I can never tell what is genuine with him. I just personally think everything he does is just for his inevitable run for office.
Yeah, you said that when you were on our podcast, and that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, he is very, very cunning. I am definitely I pegged him as like the most terrifying figure of Trump 1 early on when he was like leaning into a left populist economic message. And if you notice, like he doesn't talk about that quite a bit any longer, but back then he kept constantly hammering on and on like workers' rights and all this stuff. And he was doing like almost like a Mussolini or a Hitler, like early Hitler, where he was saying like, we need to preserve the white working class. Like we need to make sure that we defend the white working class. So it's not a sincerely held position of his, of course, but clearly it was so impactful that there were people even that still are in Congress that try to abide by that message to a certain degree, like Josh Hawley, another gay man.
100% he's gay.
Yeah.
You guys find his engagement photos with the
when he's
kicker.
kissing his wife like a
No,
like a K-drama.
Harrison Butker. It looks like a coming out
Oh, yeah.
engagement photo.
Do you want something to drink, by the way?
Yes, please.
I have
Come
Diet
here.
Dr. Pepper,
Come here.
blackberry, Diet Dr. Pepper, cream, and strawberries and cream, Diet Dr. Pepper cream, regular Dr. Pepper zero sugar, Mountain Dew.
Do you have just regular Dr. Pepper?
No, Diet Ginger Ale.
Do you have like a normal non-diet drink?
No,
What the fuck?
I don't.
All right, just bring me something. You can pick.
Let's see. All right, I think the cream one could be good.
Look at how much she loves me.
Oh yeah, she's a princess.
Okay.
Let's see if you like this. I don't have any I don't have any like regular full strength sodas. Is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad. Do you
That's
still chew the gum?
That's the Oklahoma in you. No, I
Dr.
do
Pepper,
Zins.
yeah.
I do Zins.
Dylan, my son that you helped raise, he loves Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That might be my fault a little bit, but I don't know. The famous Josh and wife kissing pic. Yeah, I love this photo. It lives in my mind. Josh Hawley kisses his wife like his parents are making him eat broccoli for the first time. Like I said he kisses his wife like a K-drama. Like this is.
You guys find the one where he does the couple's photo shoot with Harrison Butker, the kicker that said that women need to drop out of college and stay at home.
Yeah, that one. The
I
way
can't
he's
believe
looking.
they put that out. It's like the biggest. It's like a gay an engagement photo.
There's also another one where he's like picking up wine in the middle of the day from Whole Foods. It's like, wait, what is this? Greenblatt got mad at Zoran because Zoran said ADL doesn't represent all Jews. I'm absolutely blown away by the sheer brazen audacity of Zoran Mamdani telling all of us in the Jewish community who does and doesn't represent. Dude, so much of the smoke that pro-Israel people have revolve around how fucking Islamophobic they are. The reason why he's got extra smoke for Zoran Mamdani here is literally, even though Zoran Mamdani is saying a correct thing objectively, is because Zoran is Muslim. Okay, that's it. Only follow can, of course, only followed can reply. We don't need anyone, a political candidate or any non-Jewish person to tell us who should speak up for the Jewish people. Obviously, no marginalized group is a monolith, but I'm stunned by his arrogance in telling a minority community who should and should not speak for them. The vast majority of American Jews consider themselves Zionists and have strong ties to the state of Israel. This is a person who does not understand, who does not have any capacity to read the fucking writing on the wall. Like, at this stage, people saying that the ADL or Israel does not represent all Jews in America are saying that because they're combating anti-Semitism. At every stage, they were saying that to combat anti-Semitism, but especially now. Okay? Especially now. These guys do not understand that Israel's approval is lower than the dirt that you step on. It's lower than dog shit. Okay? And he's still like, no, you don't understand. All Jews love Israel. How dare you? How dare you say this? I'm Muslim. I came to this country in 2009. It wasn't the peak of the Islamophobia in the aftermath of the war on terror, but I certainly saw it, right? And for that reason, I kept warning my friends, I kept warning people over and over again, this is to a Muslim American running around being like, I love ISIS. And ISIS represents Islam.
Right.
And if you fucking shit on ISIS, you're Islamophobic. And no Muslim ever did that, of course. But it was the media that actually paired in an effort to create Islamophobic fears in Americans. They were the ones who were saying it.
Right.
And now the same, like, the same institutions are still, because they think this is a defensive measure, the same institutions are saying all Jews represent Israel at a time when nobody fucks with Israel.
I will just tell you, there's layers to this whole thing, and there always has been. So you have people that are, big into news cycles and know about international news, that know about this stuff. If you get to middle America, to flyover states, it's like, oh yeah, Israel's our ally, but they don't think about it beyond that. Because of how bad of a terrorist Benjamin Netanyahu has been, now the low information voters know about it.
Yeah.
And now they care about it. So it has been not only a genocide, but it's also done more damage to Jewish people and any potential Jewish state or the country of Israel, where I have people that have never, ever been in politics, sure as fuck didn't care about, international politics, because they're ethnocentric Americans. They're like, what the fuck's up with that guy? Why are we funding all of this? And it's the biggest backfire. And that's what brings me back to Hakeem, Schumer, and Booker, because they're so beholden, and it's such a vacuum that can be filled that the Democratic Party is not filling. And I'll tell you who's talking about this shit right now is Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene.
Yeah, they're just basically...
She is going in, and that shit will hit hard with low information voters.
Yeah.
And she is an anti-Semite. She is a real Jew hater. And she's going to go fill that void in rural places at the advice of Steve Bannon. And they're taking that economic populist message surrounding that issue. And then if you were to tap on Argentina to that right now, the Democrats would have the biggest argument of all time to get crossovers, to bring moderates back, to energize the base. But they won't do it. They don't address it. It's maddening.
I think it's the easiest way to communicate earnesty. Like, it's a layup, like you said. It's the easiest way to be like, this is a real one.
Right.
Like, you don't know anything about a person, but they come out and they're like, you recognize what's going on. I recognize what's going on. Immediately, people are going to pay attention to you. Immediately, people are going to be like, okay, all right, this is a different kind of politician, is what people think. And it's so crazy that there are still people who are just like refusing to reckon with that in the Democratic Party. Also, some good news. Today's CNN poll reports that almost 1 in 5 American adults consider themselves to be Democratic Socialists, almost the same number who say they're a part of the MAGA movement. Okay? 41% of liberals, 35% of Democrats, 32% of Harris voters, 26% of black adults, 24% of 18 to 34, 23% of POC, people of color in general. So, just saying, there are a lot of people that see this as an alternative vision because of the people like Zoran Mamdani, because of people like AOC as well, whether you have issues with the way she communicates on certain issues or not, doesn't matter because of Bernie Sanders, because they see that as like earnesty. They see Democratic Socialists coming out and they like what they have to say.
Well, and this is
And
the
same with Rashida
fruits-
Tlaib.
We're starting to see the fruit of Bernie Sanders' labor. It takes a long time to start messaging something like this, and it's starting to now manifest what Bernie did. Like in 2016, I was a good Democrat. I watched MSNBC. I voted for Hillary in the primary. I voted for Hillary in the election. My older son, Dylan, who's in law school now, he was like, I cannot believe you have a Hillary sign in our yard. And I'm like, well, Dylan, I'm a proud Democrat. And he's like, Mom, you should vote for Bernie. And now as I've evolved and gotten deeper and deeper into all of the political stuff and gone beyond MSNBC and out of corporate media, I've learned that type of centrism is what left us vulnerable to fall prey to fascism. And Bernie Sanders was right. And he's never had to fucking change his message.
Yeah.
Ever. You don't hear him like Jeff Duncan, me sitting there, are you going to do this or not? Yes or no? I had to ask him 7 times and we still got a non-answer. And you don't have that with Bernie. You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who we had on recently that I love? Graham Plattner.
Oh yeah.
Maine?
I've been meaning to
I
link
have
up
his
with
number.
him.
I'll send it to you.
No. I'm already in contact with them. I was supposed to be in Maine. Yesterday I was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk in Dartmouth, and then I was supposed to literally go to Maine right after to link up with Graham Plattner, but then all of the stuff that happened has kind of made me sour away from doing public appearances, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna most likely do something with him, but we'll see. So yeah, no, he's another one of those guys who just came out of the gate swing and he's like, nope, Israel's doing a genocide, fuck that. And he's been gaining a lot of momentum. He's been gaining a lot of attention, a lot of positive attention. And I think he will be, I think he's going to be another proof for whether or not this works. Like left populist messaging works, especially in a place like Maine, especially in a seat that was previously filled by a Republican.
Yeah, who like has been an awful, like he said, she masquerades as a centrist to the Maine voters, but every time she goes to vote, she votes hard right, and that's exactly what she's done. And he's messaging that very clearly, and I love it. 1,400
people came out tonight in pouring rain in Portland to see Graham Plattner. If Chuck Schumer and DC at least think they can handpick the next senator from Maine, then they have another thing coming.
Is there someone in his primary that Schumer picked?
Yeah, they had a person.
Got to be.
They had a who was it? I think it was the governor. I think. So they have they have their pick, Janet Mills.
Okay.
Or yeah, and then someone saying Jordan Woods. I've been paying too close attention to the primary at all. But Ezra Klein has had a significant fall from grace in my book, at least. Like I've always said, he's like a well-intentioned liberal guy, and I don't really mind him as much. I know a lot of people have a lot of smoke for abundance and the abundists. I don't necessarily care that much. I think it's just another rehashed, like repackaged third way neoliberal attitude, the public-private partnership, all this stuff. But recently, especially post Charlie Kirk, he's just been so annoying to me.
I completely agree with you. I always liked him, but I wasn't an avid follower. But the abundant stuff, I think it has a tinge of arrogant messaging to it. There's just the way it's branded and the way he presents it. I don't know that it's very good messaging for where we are right now. And maybe some of the principles in it are okay. But the Charlie Kirk thing is just the biggest capitulation.
He's doing politics the right way. I couldn't believe
it. Was just such a face plant.
On the New York Times, you're like the most prominent liberal author in the country right now. Like he is the champion of liberals. And he goes on the Gray Lady, the paper of record, and writes about Charlie Kirk in that way, I could not believe it.
It was revisionist history. It was such a face plant. I couldn't believe it either. I thought, could you not have slept on that a couple of nights?
Yeah.
But it was like this race to come out. And I think, again, I think a lot of the way they've handled the Charlie Kirk memorializing him is going to have a lot of backlash. This Christian nationalism, even within the Republican Party, I live in a super, super, super Jesus-y state. And they're like the ruling class of the people that have like the money in Oklahoma, the oil and gas guys. They're Christians, but there's a whole thing where people within the Christian movement look down on Bible thumpers. And that Trump is coming out so hard Bible thumping, and they've got those girls. Have you seen the video where they're talking in tongues and praying? Oh my God, you guys find it where they're talking in tongues and praying before they walk into the White House.
Well, Trump's like main spiritual advisor is a lady that does that. Like there was a video of her doing that. Like the angels are coming. The angels are coming. Hakuma mama ta 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 ta. Like she was like, I forget what her name is, but like
Paula.
She's a real Paula White.
Isn't that it? Paula White?
Yeah, she's a real.
She's a grifter too. She sells so she has some racket where she's selling like a prayer or like a gift from an angel or something like currently right now.
A group of Trump's faith office praying.
Yeah, look, they start talking in tongues.
Right now, Lord, from the east, the west, the north, and the south, you will shake America with your power and your glory. We cancel every assignment of the enemy. This nation was birthed to be one nation under God, and we are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word. Every place that our foot will trod, you will give it to us, and we are taking the land. We thank you, oh Lord. You have
Quick, get some curses going. apparently, that's the only thing that cancels out Jesus. It seems, according to Megyn Kelly.
brought us to the kingdom for a time such as this, and this is the time.
They're gonna take it seriously. We're like, he issued prominent socialist terrorist critic Hasan Piker issues curse threat. Like, I'm not being sincere.
Is this not fucking nuts though?
Yeah.
Like this, it's 2025, and the fastest growing religion has recently been the nuns. Like when they poll people, what
Really?
religion are you? It's none. That's been the fastest.
None.
growing.
Okay, I thought you meant like nuns
No,
in the
no,
church.
not the nuns wearing habits, but NONE. And now with that happening, you have tongue talkers. Like this was just a couple months ago, and they're out there talking in tongues, videoing it, and then posting it on the internet.
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly what this is for. Okay, they know that as long as they can maintain the nutters, like they have like a base, and that is the most easily persuadable base
Totally.
of all time. They're fucking stupid, and they can just like completely keep them captive, right? As long as they just like offer a little bit of red meat here and there. And basically, the reason why they have to do that is the same principle why they're doing the mass deportation regime, even though there's been a lot of pushback against it, even from, like you said, Trump's base of support.
Right.
Because people don't like it. People don't, when they experience it, they don't like it. When they see, their own workers get deported, they don't like it. And basically, they have to do this because they're not going to make prices low. They're just not. They don't have any investment in that. They don't have any business doing that. They didn't run to do that. They lied about it. They're not going to stop Israel. They're not going to make groceries cheaper. They're not going to make housing cheaper. Trump's a fucking developer himself. So obviously they have to keep egging on the culture war so that they don't have to identify or solve any of the class issues. And that's precisely why they're just like keep upping the intensity. And the real reason I think why the base will eventually unwind is because more and more people are going to start realizing like, okay, dude, you banned trans people, but like, you know what I mean? My landlord's still raising my rent. Turns out that didn't do shit for me.
Right.
And this happened under Trump 1, and it will inevitably happen. I mean, it's already happening under Trump 2 as well, where people look around and they go, okay, we're punishing the libs, but I don't feel satisfied. My pockets are still hurting. And as long as they don't fix the economy, and as long as there is no as long as they can't even like create an environment of hope and change for their base, slowly but surely, these people are either going to go back to not voting and just like seep in their resentment, or they're going to get grossed out and maybe even vote for the opposition, as long as the opposition can say, he's not doing it for you, I will.
Right.
Problem is Democrats are not doing that. So they're basically relying on liberals being incompetent and inept and scared to maintain their grip of power. I worry that with this base, if they can like tune them up and gear them up, if they can galvanize them enough, I fear that they're just going to not have elections at all.
Well, you have on the other screen right there that Supreme Court ruling, and this is where it gets really foreboding to me.
Yeah.
Because why are these people not checking him?
Yeah.
Why are they abdicating their power to him? And I have this really horrible feeling. A lot of those 6, they're all hardcore religious nuts. And they've all been groomed by people that want a Christian nationalist nation. And they've been crazy ambitious about this long before Trump ever
the
entered.
Federalist Society.
Yeah. And
That's what
all
it
of
is.
those judges are groomed for this. And they don't give a fuck that the messenger is a complete dementia-ridden twat. They have him and this shadow docket. And I think they've given him 20 wins and only 2 losses on the shadow docket. And this just came out.
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to allow Trump's pocket recession of $4 billion in foreign aid funding, ruling that it's unlikely the group suing have standing to pursue the claim, and that Trump's foreign policy power outweighs their purported harms. That's what I'm really fearful of. I'm worried that they're just gonna move. Like first, they started with immigrants on the freedom of speech side. Like in order to tackle it, they masked it under combating anti-Semitism. And there's a lot of liberal advocacy groups that are deeply embedded in the Democratic Party that present themselves as Jewish advocacy groups, but are actually Israel advocacy groups. And therefore, there's not a lot of pushback from the Dems on this like anti-Semitism combating initiative. And they're doing it through immigration enforcement, which is unilateral power in the hands of the executive on that front. And that's why they went after like Mahmoud Khalil, Mohsen Mahdawi, and numerous other people. And slowly but surely, that's going to creep into American citizens as well. And I worry that it's going to be a Supreme Court case that basically erodes, like shreds the First Amendment, first for non-citizens, and then inevitably for American citizens as well.
Yeah.
And then it's over. I mean, after that, it's done.
And I think that, when you look at authoritarian regimes, they look quickly to consolidate power so they never have to give it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've looked into like, okay, so let's say that the court collapses and lets him consolidate power. Then there's this whole theory that I've read about lightly online. I haven't dug deep into, and it's called a soft secession. Have you heard of this?
What, like other states pulling out?
So it's like there would be a
balkanization.
There
of the
already
states.
is a pact between Washington, Oregon, and California.
The vaccine pact, the
right.
Pacific Northwest, and then the Northeast.
That kind of sets the groundwork that they would be a part of the union, but they wouldn't cooperate with federal law and would withhold federal taxpayer money. And the same with like an East. And then all of these flyover states would be this Christian nationalist type thing. And again, it's not that hyperbolic to start looking ahead of that, because the shadow docket was rarely ever used, ever. And just in 8 months, they've given Trump 20 big victories, really, really big victories. They have signaled that like, we're going to do this. And when you look at the groups, the billionaires, Christian nationalist billionaires that have groomed and picked these people long when Trump was just, on a reality TV star, they were waiting for this moment to do this. And that's where you just get overwhelmed.
The charisma. He is the singular force. Because if Trump goes away, I don't think J.D. Vance is capable of, like, he's much more competent than Donald Trump is, but he's not capable of holding the base together.
Especially if Trump dies or has a stroke.
Yeah.
While he's in power, that's the cannibalizing that would happen with the right. They're already doing it with the Charlie Kirk thing. The whole thing would fall apart. The entire MAGA movement would fall apart.
I'm more worried about that happening, and then JD Vance automatically becomes president, because I don't think JD Vance actually wins the presidency, but I do think that if he actually were to go through the normal succession of power, then we're in deep trouble, because then it's like the Peter Thiel guys, because Palantir's tentacles are all over the federal government apparatus. Like they already got ICE contracts. They already have all of the information of every single American. They already have like AI scouring the internet. And then, we're under the rulership of Peter Thiel and the Silicon Valley tech CEOs. That's when like the Sam Altmans of the world don't have to worry about like gay people at all, because they've completely, they've done like a soft coup almost. But this guy, Dimi Ryder, he is the founder of 972 magazine, and he's Israeli, so he knows the American future better than many others, says, ICE will keep pushing the envelope right up until Stephen Miller concocts something like political migration, arguing, I don't know, that cultural Marxism is so alien to the United States that propagating it amounts to invasion, so ICE can start abducting third-generation Americans too. I totally trust him when he says this. 972 magazine is really good. They're an Israeli investigative magazine that actually got Microsoft to no longer allow Israel to use the Azure cloud software because of their collaborative investigation with DropSite. And he knows growing fascism perhaps better than many Americans do, because he's living through it in Israel. So I can totally see him. I can totally see this administration trying to move in that direction. Did I say Azure wrong? Isn't it Azure? Is it Azure? It's Azure, right? Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it is a terrifying future awaits for sure, no matter what we do. In any case, we are going to end it here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Gosh, thank you.
We still have a wonderful Fear and podcast that we are going to be filming right now. Okay. And I'm going to go do that. And I'll be live tomorrow as always. And that's it. What do you want to promote before we let you go?
Oh, just I've Had It podcast. You can YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And then we have all the social media stuff too.
Hell yeah.